I used to have dandelions in my yard everywhere. I haven't seen a dandelion in my neighborhood in years. They don't grow there anymore because they have been eradicated. So my next thing is I really want to start some dandelions in my yard because it is an edible plant, does well, as long as you're not spraying it with pesticides. So sometimes you have to look at things that are not what other people call normal. Okay? They really don't call them normal.
Dandelion's profound medicinal plant too.
Yeah. So it's something that, you know, in the natural world, nothing is wasted. Nothing is wasted in the natural world. Now, we are wasteful, but in the natural world, there is a place for everything. There is a place for everything. Unfortunately, human beings thinking that they could control Mother Nature has broken a lot of the natural loops. For example, you plow up a certain area, you put the fertilizer down, something grows up, then something starts eating it. So they're out there with the sprayer, and they break the cycle. Because if you leave it alone, something will come along that will eat the worms that are eating your vegetables. I'm getting ready to put up a birdhouse to get more birds to come in to eat the things that are eating my vegetables. In permaculture design, one of the things that we need to think of is putting things in their right place. Okay? So they've broken it down into what they call zones, 0 to 5, 0 being your home. That's the first zone. Okay? If you want to put in a garden, where are you going to put it in your yard? Off way back where you have to walk really far to harvest it? Now we're talking about an urban lot. No, you put it somewhere close to your back door if you can, or where it's an easy walk to go harvest some lettuce, some herbs, some whatever. If you're gardening in containers, you can put them right up to the back door, which I do. You want your compost bin to be a little further out because it does bring up things like cockroaches, worms, and other unsavory souls. They have a reason there to be there. You want the worms in your compost. People who have no place to compost actually have worm bins, and you can keep them underneath your sink. And then you can use the castings on your plants. If you have a balcony, you can put a 5-gallon bucket out there and put all your vegetable scrapings, your leftovers from dinner that nobody ate, and it will actually, if you turn it, and you know, my brother was telling me about somebody was giving away a 5-gallon composter. Well, that's pretty good. You put a lid on it and you sit there with your foot and roll it back and forth. Mixes it up real good. Okay, then you've got, let's say you want to put a chicken pen in your yard. Now, it would be much better for the chickens if they could run free, but if you live in town, sometimes the city officials get a little upset about that. They don't really like chickens in the city, so you really do have to put them in a pen. I have a nice big pen. It's covered so the hawks can't get to them. And then I have some little tiny pens. And what I do is every so often, I take a chicken out, throw him in the little pen, put him somewhere, you know, so he can scratch up, you know, the worms or whatever. So you kind of have to make do. So where are you going to put this? Well, you don't want it right up by your back door. Unfortunately, chickens sometimes smell, especially when it rains, you know. But they make great compost. when you rake out the chicken pen, you got some super stuff. You really do. So you need to think in terms of where you're going to put it. Fruit trees. Well, they're going to have to go maybe in zone 3, which is further out from your house because, you know, they spread. And in permaculture, what you do is you plant your trees, and then you plant things, vegetables that you're not going to harvest on a daily basis underneath them. For example, if you've got a banana tree, put sweet potatoes at their feet. Works wonderful. I'm using sweet potatoes as a ground cover in my meditation area because I don't want any grass there. I have no grass in my yard, by the way. It's a wasteful product unless you've got cattle or goats to eat it. Well, although I threaten getting a goat, obviously I'm not going to because my yard is really too small. Then zone 4 is usually somewhat semi-wild. And it's kind of hard to be semi-wild in the city. So zones 4 and 5 really are not something that you can do in an urban setting unless you have a really large lot. But if you've got acreage, yeah, you can have your semi-wild area. I noticed in Sweetwater they have kind of a along the creek is what I would consider semi-wild. And it's really beautiful back there. I'm afraid if I got any wilder in my yard, the city would probably get real upset. So you can start really small, and you can still put permaculture principles into practice. Okay. There are 5 R's that most permaculturists talk about. One is redesign. Okay? You've got something, and it's broken down. Most people throw it out in the garbage. By the way, we are what they call curb crawlers. We go rescue those things and find other things to do with them. For example, headboards, metal headboards and footboards. I have put them in my garden to kind of delineate it as a fence. And most of them came out of somebody else's garbage. I've seen people take wooden headboards and make benches out of them for their garden. You know. And a trail
creative
assist.
recycling.
Creative recycling. It's redesign. It's taking something that was meant for something else and using it in a different fashion.
Pamela had a great desk that she used. It was a door, and she just put, file cabinets on each side, and then it was a door that just went across. And that was her desk. It fit everything.
Now, I know a lot of people go out and they furnish their home from rooms to go.
Oh, no way.
Okay. There's not a stick of furniture in my house that was ever bought new, most of which was never bought at all. It was rescued out of somebody else's garbage, and I've reused it in other ways. Another thing is to reduce the imports that you purchase.
Reduce what?
Reduce the imports that you spend money on. Most of the stuff we don't need. For example, if you buy your clothes, furniture, or white goods, buy the best that you can if you have to buy them. And then they'll last a lot longer. And when they break down, try to find somebody who can repair them, which is really hard with appliances. But clothes, okay, some's got a rip. I don't have a sewing machine, so what do? Do I pitch it out? No. You take it, if you can't mend it, okay, use it for rags. When it gets to the point where it can no longer be used for rags, did you know that you can put them in a flower pot or a vegetable pot in the bottom to help keep moisture in the summer. T-shirts, for example, are great for that.
There's not any danger of like mold in the glove box. Is that because I just know my mom's like indoor like.
Well, indoors, yeah, there might be.
Okay.
But if you're putting it in something outside,
okay.
you know, then you're not going to. Choose things that you can reuse. Old pots from your kitchen make great planters. Rethink how you use everything. Jars that you get food in. Okay, I try to stock up on some things, and Florida has bugs. If you leave it on the shelf in the original carton,
It'll get weevily.
it gets really bad, especially things like cereals, rice, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay, jars. Put them in jars, and you don't necessarily have to buy them. You bring in-
Classical Italian sauce.
Yep.
I use milk jugs.
Yeah.
There, I mean, you just get a little funnel. And, you know.
Yeah.
Anything that you can seal, you use it. Be creative and reuse things. Don't throw it in the garbage. Recycle it in your house. If necessary, and you're one of these people who buys great big boxes of whatever, don't leave it in that box. Put it in, you know, something. Make a pretty kitchen out of it. You know, I still think beans and pasta and everything sitting on my open shelves looks pretty good.
One thing we did was we took the top of a broken grill and we punched holes in it, and Leon dug a hole and put it in the center of our backyard, and that's our fire pit for our circle.
That's a good idea. Good idea.
I mean, instead of throwing it away, I thought, well, at least if the cops come, we're in code. With the fire pit. So, you know.
So there are a lot of things, you know, just start thinking creatively. This is all part of permaculture. It really is. It's to reduce the things that you throw away. It doesn't have to go out to the curb. Clothes. Okay. Now, I'm one of those people, I've got clothes from this great big size down to this little size. Okay? And I do hang on to them for a reason, especially the little ones. When I outgrew them, I knew that the women in my family get thinner as they get older. So I never throw a pair of jeans away. Okay? Although I do gift jeans and different kinds of clothes if I've never worn them again. I worked in the corporate world and I had to wear high heel shoes, stockings, and dress-up suits, which I despise. When I retired from that, I gave all those nice dress-up suits to Dress for Success for women who were going back out into the work field. Because the suits were classic enough that it didn't matter. There was no fashion to it. It was fashionable. Because I bought classic clothes. Now, where did I get those classic clothes? I haven't been in a mall 10 years maybe.
Yay.
Don't go to Walmart.
Hate them all.
But I dress pretty nice. My idea is if you buy something brand new, by the time you put it on and wear it once, it's used. So people say, where do you get most of your clothes? I say, oh, I buy it at GW. Goodwill. Fabulous clothes at Goodwill. Or I go to another thrift shop. I don't buy new things for my house. If I need something, I go look for it at a thrift shop or at Goodwill. When I get through with my clothes, and it's something that I don't want to keep, I give it to another thrift shop. For example, in Plant City, I give it to a mission that supports migrant workers. Because I figured it doesn't matter how many times I've worn that pair of jeans, somebody can still wear them. If it's one that I didn't particularly like. So I pass things on. And that's what we should all be doing. Nobody should ever throw clothes into the garbage. Ever. It's very wasteful.